Thank you, Polly. I'm not sure that the words back down on earth are the words I would have used to introduce an item on the Tory leadership race. But we'll get to that in a moment. It's always interesting to see what the foreign press makes of your country. So from the Wall Street Journal, net zero emissions policy bankrupts Britain. Hang on a minute. I thought it was Vladimir Putin who was supposed to be bankrupting Britain. Isn't that what the Prime Minister said when he was talking to his constituents in Kiev?
And just as he fatally underestimated Ukraine, he also underestimated the price the world was willing to pay to support Ukraine. We have and we will. And even though we must accept that after 6 months of war, the price is indeed a high price. And I've come from the United Kingdom, where we're battling inflation that is being driven by the spike in energy prices that is caused by Putin's war. And we face strikes being driven by trade unions' bosses who have the ruinous belief that the best way to tackle soaring energy prices is with ever higher wages, when that is, of course, simply to pour petrol on the flames. And, of course, we're doing everything we can to deal with the pressures people face in their cost of living and to help people through the difficult months ahead. And that's why, given what's happening across the world, Volodymyr, it's so important for you to know now that we in Britain have the strength and the patience to get through these economic difficulties that have been so recklessly driven and exacerbated by the folly and malevolence of one man, Vladimir Putin.
So it is necessary for your granny to freeze to death in order that Putin will live in shame. Wait a minute, isn't that what I said 2 weeks before, Boris? Because in order to save the Maldives from being washed away in the 22nd century, the European Union has outsourced all its energy needs to the Kremlin. So in order to bring Russia to its knees, we have to bring you to your knees first. And that's environmentally friendly. So environmentally friendly. Good luck scraping together that $5.5 grand, but it's doing wonders for the planet. Just ask the Prime Minister. Indeed, since we started focusing attention on it, the so-called price cap has been going up £1,100. That's over 1,000 guineas every business day. A week ago, they were predicting £4,400. Look at that, 4,400. Woo, scary. Then it went up to 5,500. Wow, 5,500. And then 6,600. Yeah, look at that. So how'd it go over the weekend? Come on, you can guess. Altogether now, average bills predicted to rise to 7,700. Experts say. The same experts will be predicting 8,800 by the end of the show. But even 7,700 is quite a lot for a utilities bill. Average household income after tax is £31,400. So that's basically a quarter of your net income just on heating and lighting. That's if the energy companies are still in business. In Germany, where it has just hit €1,000 per megawatt hour. There's talk of energy companies going out of business, and so too in Austria. Look at this headline. Wien Energy in Finanznot. Vienna Energy, that's Austria's biggest energy company in... What's Finanznot mean? That's a good German word. Ah, yes, it means financial distress. But don't you worry here. Vienna Energy has sought to reassure the markets by declaring, and this is a fantastic way to reassure the markets, just try it yourself. They've sought to reassure the markets by declaring that they're, quote, not bankrupt. They're just having a bit of difficulty finding any security to put up for the massive loans they need. They have to put up a another 1.8 billion euros today, and the city of Vienna says it's tapped out. Okay, enough with five-figure utility bills and bankrupt energy suppliers. How bad is it really going to get? This is an item from the Scandinavian press. Finnish firm warns of toilet paper shortage as energy costs wipe out production. Is there nothing that Putin won't do? It turns out that even the manufacture of single-ply toilet paper requires affordable energy. The good news is that ending European consumption of toilet paper does wonders for the environment. We wouldn't be facing a crisis of itchy Eurobottoms if we'd done as the eminent popster Sheryl Crow advised the world a couple of years back and simply used one piece of toilet paper. Here's Sheryl Crow's view on toilet paper. An idea whose time has come. You'll be lucky to afford one sheet, as she puts it. I'm releasing a special all-star awareness-raising single. Me and Cheryl and Bob Geldof and Bono. All we are saying is give one piece a chance. You can, of course, recycle used toilet paper as Piers Morgan columns. I'm just kidding. Honestly, everyone's so touchy these days. In medieval Europe, there were sporadic outbreaks of choreomania. That's a plague of dancing. It was big in the 15th and 16th centuries. Afflicted various villages where suddenly the peasants, already beset by disease and famine, became seized by an uncontrollable urge to dance non-stop. It happened in Germany, the Netherlands, Belgium, France, Italy. Has it come to England and mutated with the Omicron variant? Or has the itchiness from lack of finished toilet paper now reached pandemic proportions? This was Notting Hill over the weekend, where the demented citizenry are now dancing on bus shelters in Ladbroke Grove. Yeah, it's all fun and games, but then the bus shelter collapsed. Look, there it goes. 4 people underneath narrowly avoided serious injury. A police horse is reported to have died suddenly, as the expression has it. So now dying suddenly has spread from human beings to the members of the equine community. We have no word on that horse's vaccination status. But the police didn't care. They were too busy dancing themselves. Here's one constable doing his bit, or actually having his bit done to him in a burlesque double act. Everything into it, and he's not really contributing there, is it? It's amazing. Even when doing a bump and grind routine, the Metropolitan Police prefer to stand around doing nothing, but they are good at that. Like the afflicted villages of 16th century Europe, the British Constabulary dance on in Derry. The police service of Northern Ireland decided to express their support of the Lincolnshire police, much criticised for dancing the Macarena last week, by dancing the Macarena themselves. The Royal Ulster Constabulary wouldn't have done that. The Royal Irish Constabulary wouldn't have done that. The Black and Tans could do a mean foxtrot. You could look it up. But on a small island riven by centuries of sectarian conflict, for the first time in generations, Loyalists and Republicans have finally found something they can agree on. The PSNI suck at dancing. Speaking of dancing, a week from now in the Tory party's somewhat miscast version of Cinderella, one of the 2 ugly sisters will get to go to the ball in place of Prince Charmless. But is the entire country, as that Wall Street Journal piece suggested, dancing on the precipice? Double-digit inflation, 5-figure energy bills, a national health service so thoroughly kaput, the GPs are now demanding the newly widowed conduct their own post-mortems via Zoom call. Look at this headline from the Telegraph. Widow forced to verify husband's death on video call because GP would not visit. That's how bad it is now. They won't even make house calls if you're dead. Protect the National Health Service? What National Health Service? You want numbers? The IMF estimates that UK spending rose during lockdown by £400 billion. Almost all of it was borrowed. So that means an extra 6,000 quid of debt for every individual in the country. They borrowed £6,000 on your behalf and your kids' behalf and your grandkids' behalf just in order to total the economy. But relax, because it'll be less than your New Year electric bill of $8,800. And anyway, on the net zero Titanic, they're rearranging the captain's table.